bad about this, but it is good. Muslims, we are not united. We quarrel. We are many groups. We don't listen to anybody. Everybody is a leader. Is this good or bad? Huh?
That is good.
No, not all times.
Okay. In general, it is bad. Because when you compare with the Catholic Church, there is one leader. When he speaks, nobody speaks. Huh? In Buddhism in Korea, there are some leaders. When they speak, nobody speaks. In Islam, an American, I teach him about Islam. I compare him to Islam. To say, La ilaha Muhammad Rasulullah. The next day, he argues with me. He says, no, I read this book, for the hadith. I think you are wrong. I cannot tell him, shut up. No, he has the freedom to speak. Because in Islam, we have no priesthood. We have no, you know what they call priest? We have no men of religion. We have scholars, but we have no men of religion. We don't have religious authorities. That is why we are very divided. So in a way, these divisions are bad, but in a way they're also good because nobody can corrupt this religion. If I want to corrupt Buddhism in Korea, I can look for those influential monks, corrupt them, I'll corrupt everybody. In Islam, you cannot. Somebody who became a Muslim yesterday, the next day, he has his point of view. And I cannot tell him because I have no authority. I have no religious authority to make him keep quiet. So really, Islam being so democratic is the reason also why we have got so many divisions. But in a way, it is good because we can never be corrupted. There's no one person you can buy and corrupt the whole of this religion. Now the issue about qadar. Qadar is one of those things that intellectually we may have limitations. But the summary of it is this. Allah knows what will happen in advance. He knows. We do not know what will happen. But Allah gave us a mind and He gave us irada, the will. So He tells us, look for solutions to your problems. If you are sick, go and look for medicine. Do surgery. Use your mind. But He knows that the surgery will not succeed. You will still die. But He tells us to use our mind, to use our will. So, we have got responsibility for our actions. We make mistakes, we do things right. When we do right, we are rewarded. When we do wrong, we are punished. But the decision is ours. When you make a decision, when you decide to go and drink alcohol, it's your decision. Allah is not forcing you to. He knows you will drink, but it's your decision. So this is part of how Allah honored human beings. We are, the word honor? We have honor. We are above everything else. Because the animal, the tiger or the dog or the cat, doesn't have this freedom. If the cat wants to eat and he sees a rat, he will eat the rat. He's driven by instinct. We are not driven by instinct. We make choices. So, qadar means Allah knows what will happen, but He gives you the chance to use your mind. You may use it right, you may use it wrong. If you use it right, you are rewarded to go to Jannah. If you use it wrong, He may punish you in hell. But in the end, He's very forgiving. Because eventually everybody will go to Jannah. Except to those who don't believe, shirk. But you may go to hell for some time, for your sins, and after that, Allah is forgiving. So this is the summary of it. But Muslims misunderstand qadar. They say, okay, I don't have to do anything, you don't have to work. Allah will do it for me. Me, I had one Saudi taxi driver from Jeddah to Medina to Mecca. He's going 200 kilometers per hour. I said, brother, you're going to kill me with my family. He says, no. If Allah wants you to die in my car, even if I go 10 kilometers, I will die. It is all up to Allah. Then I told him, okay, my brother, Allah decided how much money you will get today. Why don't you sit at home? Why do you come to drive this taxi? You sit at home, Allah will give you the money. He said, let me think about that. So it seems that Muslims misunderstand qadar. When it has to do with working hard and doing things, this Allah will do it. But when it has to do with getting, now they try to get. So it's our misunderstanding. And it's a major problem in many Muslim communities. Yes, we have to change.
I have a question about leadership. Yes. Sometimes, or not sometimes, most of our communities, they stick to the traditions and customs
Yes.
more than what is actually right, like religion-wise.
Yes.
Now, as a leader, what should I have as a priority? Is to change the people first, or that they have to stop thinking in this way and stop believing in traditions more than what is right and what is wrong, or just ignore them and go on with my vision? Like, for example, if Sisi, may Allah give him for much long time, and I became the president of Egypt, Egypt, we are full of traditions and customs, and people, they do haram things because it's custom. So, but this causes the community to be in a bad thing. Now I have a decision, either to ignore the people because they are idiots and they are following what is wrong, I don't have time for this, and I'm going with my own vision, or should I first start to change the people from down and leave it to the other generations to do the vision that I have, which is much more righteous.
Okay. There is no correct answer to this process of change. I think I talked about it before. Should we change from below, or should we change from above? Okay. Now, if we change from above, we have to use force, because people have got traditions that are wrong, but they stick to them. You must use force. But force doesn't work. It can work for a short time, and it fades. So me, I prefer to start from the bottom and take time, because force doesn't work. People have to be convinced. You know, in Medina one time, there was one young man in the masjid. He was praying, you know, up like that. So Omer said, stop, pray properly. So the young man, he prayed properly and carefully and salam salam. Then he moved and started praying the same way as before. So Omer asked him, why? You were praying badly. I told you to pray properly. You prayed well. Why did you go back to that? He said, no, the Wudu Salah was for you, because you were by force. That one was for Allah. I have to finish the one I was making for Allah. So which tells you, force temporarily can work, but cannot work for long. It is better to have tarbiyah over a long time. And we may reach a stage to forget some people. You know, some people are already set in their ways. They will not change. But the new generation, work on the new generation and teach and have the patience. You don't expect to see results in your lifetime.
What if I use their ignorance to reach my vision? I'm not forcing them to stop, but I'm using them as a bridge to reach my vision. Will that be hypocrisy or just... Because at the end, the vision is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't care for these, I just want my vision to happen. People will benefit, but maybe after 50 generations.
Yeah.
But I just used their ignorance and didn't change them. I said, okay, you are right. And I try to manipulate the way they're thinking to reach my own vision. Will that in some way moral, or I should start from the beginning and down, step by step.
Better step by step, but also what you say could be done, that you build on what is there. You know, you find them that, you know, they don't pray very well, they have got bad customs, and you leave them, but you pick a few of them and try to change them, to build your vision on it. For example, there is this simple thing that maybe they don't want to take girls to school. If you open a modern school, they will never take them. You open a Quran school, they will bring them. But in the Quran school, you teach Quran, also teach other subjects. So it is possible to build on what they have and you get your vision. But still it takes time. We should not expect to change things quickly. Yeah, things take time. Yeah.
I have two questions, one related to what Brother Salman said, and the other one related to what Brother Muhammad said.
Yeah.
The first one was like when Brother Salman said about what was it? Qadar. I forgot the word.
Qadar, yeah. Qadar, predetermination.
Yeah, I was just thinking that someone has cancer and he or she is in her second or like final stage, or it's not in a condition to give chemotherapy and stuff like that.
Yes.
And if he or she decides that I would just like to live and pray and stay at home and maybe pray and live properly and with my family instead of like spending all the money my family has and dying in the hospital with chemotherapy. It's like killing everybody with me, with myself, right? So is that okay in Islam?
Well, disease has to be treated. So we have to treat. But we reach a stage that the treatment is useless. So if he decides to stay at home because he knows treatment is useless, and doctors can tell you, it makes sense. Instead of just going on and spending money for nothing, it makes sense to stay at home. Yeah. But if there is a chance of cure, we should not give up and say it's a qadar. Because we don't know what Allah's qadar is. Allah knows what will happen for sure. We do not know. Me in the hospital I've seen cases, we tell him you go home and die. 5 years later the same man hugs you. You say, are you alive? Yes. Are you so? Yes, I am. It happens. Because only Allah knows for sure what will happen. We as humans cannot know. So we have to do what we can to get a cure. We shouldn't give up. We shouldn't say, okay, this one is going to die, that's Allah's qadar, because we don't know. But there are situations when the doctors know that this case is so advanced, it's useless to do chemotherapy. So in that case, you can go home. Yeah. There's no need to do it. So this issue of qadar really causes a lot of confusion in the ummah. And a lot of the laziness we have in our society is because of this. A Muslim must have tawakkul. Tawakkul means you rely on Allah. Tawakkul means you do all what you can and then you say, I leave it to Allah. There is another word called tawakkul. It means do nothing, let Allah take care of it. So tawakkul is not allowed. It's against qadar. The correct one is you do what you can, the best you can, and then the result will be from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So many of our societies actually, people are in tawakkul, they do nothing. Just lazy. They say Allah, like that taxi driver. They say, I will just drive, Allah knows what will happen to you. Yeah. So qadar is misunderstood. But we need to realize a complex issue. It's a complex issue. Eh? The Prophet لا يغير القدر إلا دعاء. Only dua can change qadar. But Allah, but you don't know Allah's qadar. This is the whole thing. Eh? Allah said somebody will get a disease, if he makes dua, will cure him. So we always make dua. So Allah can change the qadar. But we cannot say, like in India, I went to India to make a change, also in northern Nigeria. They refuse vaccination for polio. Because they say, disease from Allah. If this is qadar, it's what Allah wants. Who are you to fight Allah's qadar? So this is misunderstanding qadar. Yeah. Allah has got his qadar, he knows what will happen, he's sure. But we do not know. So as humans, we have to do the best we can to get a good result. And then leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I have a question interlinked with that. So is there, can we say or imagine like that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change his decisions? Is it, I mean, it happens that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made one decision and then change?
We don't know what was his decision in the first place. But we have got this hadith which says, لا يغير القدر إلا الدعاء. There's this hadith that dua can change qadar. But there is nothing else. Yeah, but that's also part of it. Allah said, I will give my servant this disease. If he makes sadaqah, I will cure him. He knows in advance. Yeah. But we don't know Allah's qadar. In the ignorance of Allah's qadar, we have to work very hard, which is not happening in our Muslim societies. We're really lazy. And with this tawakkul, somehow we think we shall get food. But there is water, there is soil, work. A side now. You have to make side, you have to make the attempt.
My second question. Thank you very much for the first one. Is in Islam, this theory like, for the greater good? Like he was saying that maybe eventually his intention is good in making the vision right, but we can maybe do some things that is not proper, like, or maybe a bit evil or something. But in Islam, it's not right. Even if it's for the greater good, right? There is nothing called the greater good, or is there?
Yeah, in the Western philosophy, there is the consequentialist thinking, or utilitarian thinking, actually, by Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher, that an action is moral if it leads to something good. But the action itself may not be very moral, but it leads to something good. In Islam, no. In Islam, al-ghaya wal-wasila, the result and the method must both be moral. We cannot use an immoral method to reach a moral end. The only twist to that is what you call darura. Darura. This is in Sharia. Okay. We may do something to achieve a good, and that what we do may have involved doing a haram. For example, diabetic. The only insulin available is porcine insulin made from pork. Under darura, you are allowed to use that insulin. It's haram, but you are allowed to use it in order to save life. Yeah. So is this only exception? That some haram things are allowed in order to save life.
In politics, what could be considered
I don't think the ulama have studied this in politics. Maybe they need to, don't have studies. All the research is about the ordinary things in fiqh. For example, a woman comes to the hospital. There's no male doctor. It's haram, a strange man to see the awra of the woman. But because we have to save her life, it's allowed. So in the area of fiqh, it has been studied. But in politics, I don't know, maybe, but I don't know when I study. Maybe it's an area that we need to study in politics.
Because many of the leaders of our countries, they use immoral stuff, saying that it's a darura because we need to do this to prevent that greater
Yeah,
bad, and
Yeah.
people are suffering because
yeah,
they say no, it's a darura. So
Yeah.
he need halal for himself,
Yeah.
do this stuff.
yeah,
All of them actually have this.
yeah. I don't know in the political area. I know it only in the fiqh area. But maybe we need more research in this area about politics.
First of all, nice to meet you, and I thank you for your two presentation. I asked only two short questions, and I also need from you two short answers.
Okay.
Not long. The first of my question about your past presentation about leader and follow, and you concentrated that the follow is is very important and more important than the leader. I don't accept that. As example of Sayyidina Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, I think he is the leader and he hasn't any follow, or the follow came in good and he become very good leader. My second question about to what extent or what is the distance between us and real Islam? I come from Egypt from 6 months. I don't feel any safety in Egypt. But when I come to Korea, not Islamic country, and I become safe. I feel more safe than my country Egypt, or any Islamic country. But I don't travel to any Islamic countries. Also, the connection between two short questions. If we have a good leader, or a leader from Islam, or a leader understand Islam well, I think maybe will be nearer to our deen or our Islam. So if we have a good leader, I think we will be more progress and more nearer to Islam. But now, I think all Islamic countries have corrupted the leader and more crime leader.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. Now, the first question, yes, I can agree with you, because this is a theory. Me, my thinking is the followers who really determine the leadership situation. Because in many of our countries, we had bad leaders. We remove one, then the next one is like him. Remove one, the next one is like him. So, because the society from which they come is bad. If the society was clean, any who come would be good. So, the examples of Omar bin Abdul Aziz ruled only 2 years. During his time, things were good. But when he disappeared, they went back. So yes, a good leader can make a difference, but for a short time. When he disappears, it goes back. Permanent change occurs if the followers are changed. Because then it doesn't matter. Anybody who comes as a leader, he will follow the same correct path. Now the second question was?
What is the distance between our community Islam and the real Islam?
You see, this is a question I'm afraid of answering. Because as I told you, non-Muslim societies apply Islam more than we do. An-nadhafa nisful iman. Cleanliness is half of iman. So, on the area of cleanliness, who is more Muslim? Who is more Muslim? The Korean, or the Egyptian, Pakistan, Indian, Uganda, Nigeria? Yeah? The Korean is. Really. It's a very clean society. So this is Islam. When it comes to social peace and people interacting with each other, not quarreling, not shouting, the Korean is more Muslim than we are. So in a way, I think we are very far from the Quran in our countries, and we need to go back. Our situation is like that of a beggar, beggar, miskin, on the street. He has no food, no clothes, no house. But he has got $1,000,001 in the bank. You tell him, go and take just 1,000 and buy food. Say, no, 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 leave my money there. I'm proud of it. Let me continue suffering. So I have a feeling that we have this Quran, we put it in the bank, we suffer, we don't read it to improve our situation. But in the other communities, you know, like in the Western world, now in Asia, many Quranic views and values are being applied. So this is a big issue, and it makes da'wah more difficult. Because when you say become a Muslim, he says, tell me, what do you have that I should copy from you? Sometimes you look around, you don't really have, except what I said, the intellectual part of the Quran. That much, yes, this I have. You can present these ideas. So we are very far. Hijrat al-Quran, we are really very far. We need to come back.
We will not come back.
Eh?
We will not come back.
We will come back. We have new Canal Suez, what's wrong?
We are very far.
So the connection between two questions. If you think that if we have a good leader, maybe you will come back.
A good leader who will do the following things. He will change the education system, make it more moral. Yes, we'll come back. Just education, nothing else. Because then we are sure the next generation will be a good generation. We can come back.
Start from yourself. Everyone can change himself.
But change the society. For example, now, I am agree with you for answering Brother Mahmoud, but for a society have 50 years now suffering, so you might think it should be start from the small family, from parents, but how about the parents is grow up in a bad society? Maybe 50 years back this society was good in knowledge, in everything, in science, but now this generation is grow up in a bad situation, economical bad situation, religion bad situation, everything like this developing country in Muslim country. So how we will start up? I think if the government or the country itself have a plan for developing their use science and also based on the religion, it will be short. But if we start, for example, maybe my family will start, but another family have poorness, and also we find some bad things generated in the Muslim society now. Some people mix between haram and halal. Maybe one he go for sleep and come back for mosquito break. There is some, I think, this must be start from the government. But if the government not start, I think it will need maybe long time. That's why the good people will be exported to outside and still remaining the country down.
Yeah, you are right. The government can do it faster. As Sayyidina Uthman said, إن الله
But
يزع
also,
بالسلطان
sorry,
ما
I
لا
am
يزع
not agree by
بالقرآن.
force, because
Eh?
force, if I am not agree with another way to attack or force the country, because the country has all things. This maybe bad example now. We cannot claim that the force to become force in the country will find solution. It will not be solution.
Yeah. It's a difficult issue, but it's true the government could make a change. As I was saying, Sayyidina Uthman said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَزَعْ بِالسُّلْطَانِ مَا لَا يَزَعْ بِالْقُرْآنِ. Allah can change with the hand of the ruler what Quran cannot change. So it is possible. But for most of the time, it is the general education that matters. And this doesn't have to be done by the government. But all we want to do is for the government to establish freedom. So let non-government organizations undertake the education. Inshallah, that will improve the
But the
society.
education itself is sector in the government. So this sector becomes down. I mean,
Yeah, but now government part is decreasing because they have allowed private education. So inshallah, hopefully we
But
can.
now this lower section people, I think, will teach the private.
Yeah, they cannot go to the private. Yeah, situation is really bad,
And now,
but we are hopeful things are going to change, inshallah.
and now the power source is also changed. Not only government can have the power. Now the military and judiciary and many other things are involved. If you got the government, judiciary is not with you, you can do nothing.
Yeah, but then the issue is, what the Sharia is about 95% private. Islamic law is private law. Very few things require government. Why don't we apply the 95% of the Sharia that we don't need a government? And then we are asking for the 5% that requires a government. Sharia says, be clean in your house, your body, your environment. Take care of your children. Be kind to your wife. Don't annoy the neighbor. Help the poor near you. Have we done those things? No. But those don't need a government. So we have a bigger problem. There are many things we can do, but we're not doing. So I think we need to look inside. Our problems are more inside. But inshallah, I think it's going to improve. Inshallah.
Okay.
Education will be the power of the future. You can teach your own children.
Yes.
You can start from your own home.
In fact, we should teach the mothers. We should teach the mothers. Let the fathers be ignorant. Because if the mothers bring up children, the next generation will be good.
We agree with this, but most of us, as we can be considered as scholars. But now society is not scholar. Society, for example, some Arab countries which is Muslim. Now people who have not got education maybe is approximately near to 50%.
Yeah.
So maybe we will talk about our situation. We know that our situation, we will take care about our children and we will become more better than us. But how about the poor section people? This also affecting the society.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a problem. High illiteracy. We have a high illiteracy. Many people cannot read and write.
And population also
But
is
then,
not small.
the non-Muslim societies, they don't have these problems. This is what I say. Maybe they follow Quran secretly. They read at night. Because they don't have these problems. Here, Korea, how many literates are here? Actually nothing.
But this starts with justice.
Okay. The word adl in the Quran is one of the commonest words. Are we applying it?
Okay, I think it's fine. I think brother satisfied, and we had a lot of insights from Dr. Kasule. Thank you so much. Small question. Okay, before small question, actually I had already question from brother Hassan. That our brother, he in the morning and Fajr after Fajr prayer, he asked a question about the IS and Al-Qaeda and stuff. So how we can satisfy other people or these
Which question?
Fajr in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, so he asked a kind of question like people ask from the Muslims about IS and Al-Qaeda and Taliban and stuff. So how
Okay. You see, we don't want to be defensive. You know, Qaeda, Taliban, ISS, all of these people, they represent themselves. So you don't have to explain. You just tell them, Islam says peace, says justice. Please know the difference between Islam and Muslims. About Islam, I can discuss. About those people, what they do is not what Quran says. I think simple. Don't feel even defensive. Because if we apply the same standards, we can apply them. America 400 years ago was a Christian country. Everybody went to church. They captured 30 million Africans and took them as slaves to America and mistreated them, killed them. They killed all the Red Indians. But we have never said that Christian terrorism. So why do you, when a Muslim does something bad, you refer it to Islam? When a Christian does something bad, you don't refer it to Christianity. So it's a very simple thing. So just to say, Islam does not accept this and this and this and this. Islam is peace, moderation, understanding, and we want to cooperate with all people of the world who stand for this. This thing is wrong. And you don't have to go into details. Because it is wrong, it's wrong. You don't have to go into details. Why they did this, how they did that. No. I'm not part of it. I'm a Muslim. It's not, violence is not right. Yeah.
In your opinion, what is the best leadership strategy to follow? Is to provide the people the chances, like jobs and so forth, and just provide them the means to have the jobs and the prosperity, and they will do it by themselves, and you're not like feeding them, you're just providing them the ways of being prosperous, or providing them prosperity from A to Z, and they do nothing. Like, which is better as a leadership that you will have actually will benefit the community? Because we see, for example, that in the Gulf, I was raised in Dubai, for example. Then in Dubai, they have everything from A to Z. They did nothing. So it's all the government, Sheikh Mohammed and so forth. And we see other countries like Korea, they only provided the means of prosperity. And the Koreans themselves built the country. And we see there's a difference, a huge difference in intellectuality and advancements in the quality of life of the person himself, like that is his value. So which is better actually, in our case as Arabs from the Middle East? Because we have been living so many years doing nothing. So which is better for us?
No, the Prophet actually taught that you should, he told a man to take an axe and go and work. Also he taught us that the upper hand is better than the lower hand. In other words, in Islam, you need to work to earn your living. And we only give help to those who are sick, old, or they have to take care of children like women. But men must work and be productive if they can work. It's simple as that. But again, when you look at the world picture, Korea, for example, is richer than the whole of the Middle East. But nobody, the media, the media say oil countries, but if you come to count the wealth, what Korea produces in terms of goods is more than that oil. Germany, one city, Frankfurt, has got more wealth than all the Middle East oil. But the media don't say this. The media tend to, they want to make us feel, we have oil, we have got money, but it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. People who work have the wealth.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for your answer for these questions. Now we'll have just a very short break. You can go for a little drawing, and then we'll pray Dhuhr. After that, we'll have lunch and restart again our program. Dhuhr prayer would be 12:30, 12:40. Around 12:40, we can pray Dhuhr. Now it's almost 30. So we have 10 or 15 minutes to get ready, and then we start now.